Hello and welcome back to Ricky Ventures. Today we're back in the tiny house hunting blind and we're going to start roughing in the electrical. I brought up the main panel that I'm going to use. This is a 40 amp main panel. You guys have seen this connected to the Renogy 48 volt inverter, which I think I'm going to put right there. And then I'm going to wire that into this main panel, and then from this main panel I'm going to have two circuits in here. And I think the first circuit, I'm going to kind of go this way with it to this is the east side of the view. I think I'm going to go from there, wrap it around to the north side here, come down here where I'm going to put a light switch. I'm going to switch some outlets down there. I'm going to put one more outlet back here, and then I'm going to come over to these two outlets and down the bottom. I think it's how I'm going to do that part there for that circuit. Got plenty of wire. Got all the boxes. This is way overkill for putting this stuff in this hunting blind, but I mean, you would never do this in a house, but like, hey, I've got 12 boxes. The boxes themselves only cost me, I think, like 87 cents, I think, a box. The outlets cost like 67 cents. They're all going to be 15 amp outlets, except I'm going to put two of these outlets that have the USB on them and so forth. I'm going to put those on this wall, which I think is kind of the primary wall, so people could plug into that. The most expensive part of this is buying the wire. You guys probably know that copper is not cheap. I spent $150 on the copper. I bought a new roll of it here, Romex. I already had some Romex left over, but I bought another roll of it. These will be the clamps to put in the main breaker over here. So that's what I'm going to get to today. I'm going to start working on that. Rough all this in. I think I'm going to start with the breaker box, get the clamps on that, and then we'll nail in all these boxes and we'll start running wire, I think, to them. That'll be what we'll hopefully get done today. It's pretty cold up here right now. When I got up here this morning, it was in the 30s, and so I think it was around 38 degrees, and that's what the temperature gauge showed when I got in here. So I got in here, and you can see now it's, you know, it's almost 65 in here. I went in here and I kicked on the heater, which we were using during hunting season. So that was all still out here. I kicked that on. Even opened up this window because it's this heater kicks out so much heat even on low. So it's kind of nice to have the heater in here while I'm doing this work. If you guys want to see a video of the install of that, I'll put a link up here on the video. This is probably not what I'm eventually going to end up with here. This is just a temporary solution for now. I'm probably going to put something else on the wall. But hey, let's get to the electrical work at this point. We're going to start off with this box, I think, and punch out some holes in it and put the clamps on it. I'm thinking the way I'll do it is I'll have maybe the main line from the inverter come in here. It'll come off the bottom of the inverter, go in there, I'm thinking. And then I'll have one of the lines for this circuit go out this punch out, I'm thinking, going that way. And I'll have the other one come out of this punch out and go that way, I'm thinking. Should work out pretty well. So I just need to take off these screws here so I can get inside of this, and then we'll punch those out and put the clamps on it. So there's the inside of the box. To punch these knockouts, you just got to kind of find where the weld spot is on it and kind of knock it out on the other side. This center one I'm going to punch out actually has 3 welds on it, so I'm going to try and just hit on either side of it here with the hammer and knock it out that way. So I take a flathead and go on this side of it. That kind of bends it in. If I go on the other side here now. But they're tough. There we go. So that kind of knocks it out, and then I can reach in there with some pliers to pull this piece out, and that's where I'll put my clamps. Now that I've got all 3 of them knocked out, you can see right here, so I can just get in there with some needle noses and break that piece off. Same one with one over here. Suppose it might be a little bit easier if it didn't have the breakers already in it, but I'm not going to worry, but I got the breakers already there. So that's all 3 of the knockouts out. I think my clamps will fit right in there. These are the clamps I got. They're for non-metallic cable, which we're going to be using in here. They should go in a 1/2-inch hole like that, and allow me to clamp down the rest of the cable in it. That goes on there. Then on the back side, it just spins back on. You can use like some pliers or a needle nose pliers or a flathead screwdriver to kind of tighten them down. I'll screw all 3 of these on and then we'll get this box in place. I'm going to remind you guys that I am not an electrician, so this is just me DIYing it here. So don't follow what I'm doing if it's not right. And if it's not right, you guys should tell me down below, like, what am I doing wrong? So this is just me doing my thing, I guess I would say. Well, I didn't get very far until I encountered my first problem. So when I drilled through this, I hit this screw right here that I didn't realize was there, you know, from underneath here. So I got to back this screw out, but that's where this panel will fit right into here to get the wires through that. And then I'm going to secure it right here on this piece of wood. The problem I have right now is whenever I try to take that out with the screwdriver, that there's no bite left in the screw. So when I try and back it out, it just spins it. So we're going to see if we can get some pressure on it to kind of push it back through there. Always something when you're working on stuff, right? Right, I was able to push on it with some pliers and unscrew it out. Here's the the bent screw when I hit it with the drill to drill through here. That was the drill I was using to drill through it, and it was kind of weird because it was hitting it and, you know, not letting me go through. I was like, what's wrong with this? And obviously I know what was wrong with it now. It was this screw was in the way. So for these boxes, I marked them at 7.5 inches up each, so they'll all kind of, you know, be in the right spot. So they're 7.5 inches off of the bottom of this. And I am not left-handed, but I'm able to hammer okay with it, I guess. So we've got all those up there now. Got one there, one there, one here, and one here. The box I've kind of got set in here. I'll wire it. I can't really put this in securely until I get the wire coming out of this, because I've got to screw this wire tight here on it first. But at least I've got it set here where it'll all work, all tied up. I kind of used just a small piece here to make sure it all fits together. But I'm going to get all the rest of the boxes put in, and then we'll start running the wire from there and around here like I was talking about. And then the way I was always taught to put in these bottom ones was to just use the hammer. Put the box at the bottom of the hammer from the floor. And so you guys can see the hammers down there on the bottom of the floor. Put the box there and just hammer it in place. In that case, there's a knot right there. So it was hard to get through that knot. All right, so I started the rough end now. I put the breaker box right here. I spaced it out a little bit to give me some space in between there so I could screw it into this. So that still has to be wired up. And then I went off the breaker box for this first circuit into this box up here. I'm going across into that box up there, and then I'm going from there. I've got 2 lines. One's going up all the way to the top to the ceiling light up there, and then the other one's going down all the way down to our light switch. And so this light switch will have one switch in here to turn on that light up there when you walk in. I'll probably put a red light there. I don't know, we'll figure out. We'll probably put a multicolored light there so I can change it to whatever color I want. But that way I've got one switch here for when I come in the tiny house, and then this second switch I'll put here is going to go down to an outlet down here to make it switchable, so I can turn that outlet on and off down here, one of these outlets. And I had to use some extra wire. I've only got 12-2 wire here. I don't have any 3-way wire, so I had to put, you know, 2 12 wires in there to make that, because I got to have one to go to the switch and then another one for the line to turn that on. So I'll put 2 outlets there, and then finally over there I'll put another outlet, and then it goes from that outlet to that outlet, and from that outlet to there. And so that's how that's all hooked up. That's as much as I've got done. So what we'll have to do next time is we will put the next circuit coming out of this. I think I'm going to take it out of the top of this. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way around to the top, drop down, and go all the way back around towards the bottom to here. And I'm going to end it here because what I think I'll do later is I might actually go off of this box and drop one to the outside of the stand. So it'll be an outlet on the outside that I can use for power out there to do things. One of the things I'm thinking about in the future is possibly hooking up a sprinkler system out here to be able to sprinkle that food plot. I could pull water out of the pond, and I could, put the water on the food plot for days when it's not raining very well. So it'd be great to have power for that to run that pump to make the sprinkler system go. So that's what we've got done so far. Next time I'll get this side of us done. So that'll be probably the next time I get a video together. I'll get this side done, and then obviously the next step will be then to start wiring in all of the outlets. And so it's probably got a couple of more trips up here for me to get that all done. And then once I get all the outlets done, then I can get the solar inverter charger, get the Renology 48 volt solar charger installed here. We can start working on getting the solar panels. I think I'm going to put them right outside of the stand out here. I think that'll work out. It's not going to get perfect sun. Let's actually go outside and look real quick. Right now it's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So about midday, and the sun is actually right there on that side. So maybe I'm going to have to put the solar panels on this side of the stand so it's watching that direction, although all these trees are going to be in the way. So we're going to have to think about that one. Where are we going to put the solar panels? I was originally thinking of putting them on the front of this stand, but I don't think that's a good spot given where the sun is right now. It's 3 o'clock and it's pretty much right there. So it's going to set, over there. So I really need to have my panels facing that direction. I think we're going to have to put them out in the field maybe and run a wire to it. I didn't want to really do that. I didn't want to bury a wire out here, but hey, that's maybe what's going to have to happen. So give me some comments down below, guys. Is this how you would do it? Like, comment down below. Is this how I should wire it up, or should I not wire it up this way? This is kind of what I'm thinking about going with. I'm not an electrician, so I'm just doing kind of what I've learned on my own. So yeah, tell me down below, what would you do? Is this the right way to do it, or is there a different way you would go about doing it? Otherwise, I want to thank you guys for watching, and give us some thumbs up on this video, and we will see you guys on the next one.